We're going live in three, two, one. Okay. Okay. We are live. Hello, everyone. Hello. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. Greetings and salutations. This evening, I have two special guests, hopefully, um, over at my apartment right now. I'm sitting across from Post Kebab. You all know Post Kebab. Post Kebab, please feel free to say hi and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody, Polska. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, right. Do us all a good service and try to be very succinct and talk nice and clear, nice and loud. I think I speak a little bit louder than most people. Um, yeah, so we're waiting for a number of people to get into the chat. The goal today was to interview none other than what's his name, Traversable Mgtow.
I believe he is in the
Um,
chat already.
oh, is he? Okay, great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start fidgeting with my phone.
he's the only one in there right now.
Oh, right. Okay. All right, Traversable. I hear you, or I see you. Okay, excellent. Let me try to let's see, Mgtow Outlaw. I see you as well. What's up, Mgtow Outlaw? I'm gonna try to post the link so I can pull in Traversable. And yeah, Traversable. Before I post the link, if you can try to gather your thoughts, as I'm sure you already are. This is gonna be you can consider it like a professional interview, although it'll be casual in style. I want to ask you a number of questions, mostly probably almost all of them Mgtow related. What brought you to Mgtow? I remember hearing outlandish stories, like for example, didn't your ex-wife try to didn't your ex-wife try to get you killed or something like that? I don't remember. There might have been a situation where she tried to poison you. I can't remember all the details, but yeah, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. You don't have to share any. Feel free to share everything you want to share. If something is not too personal or something, we'll kind of wing it. But and of course I'm gonna ask you, what brought you to Mgtow? Can you share with us any outlandish moments that may have occurred in your life? All right, so let me go into the guests here.
Post the link.
No, not yet. I'm doing that right now. All right, let me try to post the link here. Right, that's not working. Give me a couple of minutes, boys.
Yeah, we have chat already.
Yeah.
Although mine's not telling me. It's just saying one person in there.
Mine says 7, but whatever.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Okay too.
Oh yeah, I should say, can you guys just quickly, can you mention how is our audio? Is our audio okay
I actually got my audio off on YouTube.
on your phone? Yeah, you
Yeah.
should. Okay, so it's not copying and pasting. I'm gonna have to do it manually with like a piece of paper and a pen. Just a couple minutes, guys. I'm sorry, it's technical difficulties, as you can see.
Oh, our audio is good. The boys are saying.
Good. The audio's good. That's because my piece of crap phone does have decent audio.
Mgtow Infinium is in the house.
Oh, very good. Oh, yeah. Hey, Mgtow Infinium, by the way, I'm going to drop the link. I was hoping you can call in as well. I wanted to speak with you as well, if you have the time.
Yeah, Mr. Chauvinistic. I'm not familiar with him.
StreamYard.com/KTAEH74K.
Why's in the chat? He made it.
Yeah, feel free to talk. You're here with me. Okay. Invite a guest. Okay.
We don't have any wrenches in here, cowboy.
Well, we've already discussed that, and right now is not the time for that. HTTP.
That's a long ass URL.
Yeah, no. See, this is the problem with my phone because it has a cracked screen. It's actually harder for me to copy and paste by touching it.
Is your screen cracked or is your screen protector cracked?
No,
screen?
It's a screen. Backslash, backslash.
You gotta get a phone, cowboy.
I know. StreamYard.com backslash K.
So this guy's wife tried to have him killed?
Yes, if I remember correctly, traversable Mgtow. Now I think traversable Mgtow today goes by traversable philosophy. He used to be known as traversable Mgtow. He has a long sordid history with women. I believe he has a child, and one of his former girlfriends or ex-wives tried to have him killed or poisoned or something like that.
Oh, that
right.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, I want to hear about it. Okay, so guys, I just posted the link. Please, if you guys can pop on and please let me know if the stream, if the connection works, if the link works.
Yeah, it's in there. I can see it.
Yeah, but I've had it. Whenever I post it manually, I've had it before where it'll still post, but I'll try. I will attempt to. People will attempt to get on.
Oh, it says 404.
See, there you go. Okay. HTTPS.
He says down at the bottom, invite it will copy right into your clipboard.
Yeah.
Again, broken screen.
Yeah, broken screen. They don't understand. Okay, that's a 404 error. Okay, let me try again. It's usually something on my end. Okay, so it's HTTPS / StreamYard, right? .com / lowercase k t a e h 7 4 lowercase k i 9, not G.
9.
That's a 9, not a G. It's probably Bob's fault. That's what it is. So I'll have to post it again. Bob messed up again, everyone. It's all just blame Bob.
Always blame it on Polska.
That's what it is. That's my go-to. Whenever something goes wrong, I blame the guy who doesn't speak English. So.
Even though I'm speaking perfectly good English.
I know. It's just an idiom. HTTPS / StreamYard .com / K undercase TA KTAEH 7 4 K undercase I, not G, 9. That should make the difference. Okay, let's hope that's what it was. I'm gonna go back up and take a look because I see. Yeah. It's a 9, not a G. Okay, guys, this should work. This should work. Yeah, Mgtow Infinium. Yeah, I'm sorry. I posted the wrong link. The very last letter character should have been a
it's working.
A G, not a 9. So, all right, that should work. Guys, I can have up to 6. This is going to be a multi-person interview. And the very first person I want to interview is is a traversable Mgtow. Anyway, okay, so while we're waiting for guests to come in, take it away, Bob. What's good? What's new? Do you have any jokes? So I heard a rumor that you're sober today. Is that true?
I am sober. I know that's hard to believe, right?
Can you talk about that for a second?
What, being sober?
It's
not fun, cowboy.
It's not. I never knew how long a year was until I stopped drinking. Yeah. So Bob is over at my house. He drove, and because he's drove, he's not drinking, which is something good and miraculous. And
Yeah, I figured I'd stay sober.
that
My lawyer would advise against drunk
yes,
drive.
yes, right. Or let's just say, being the smart man that you are, you've learned from your mistakes, and you turned over a new leaf and all that, and blah 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 blah. Okay. So I see Trav now. Okay, I see Trav, and so I'm gonna let Trav in. Trav, I'm letting you in 3, 2, 1. Let's hope that works. Add to stream. Okay, let's see if we can hear Trav. Trav, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How's my sound?
You sound good.
Your sound is excellent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, welcome. It's good to have you. I'm so glad that you could make it.
Oh, great. Yeah. Just nothing to do today, and I don't even know what day it is. What is it? Tuesday?
Yes, today is Tuesday. Right now, with my current work, I have Tuesdays and Thursdays off. So I also had the day off, although I was running around doing errands and such, noticing the wonderful inflation at the store. So how about you? What did you do today?
God, yes. What's that?
Oh, how was your day? What did you do?
Good. I went for a bike ride today. Took a long one. It was a nice day here. It was sunny and about a little over 60. So I took a bike.
I was going to say, how is the weather in? I'm sorry, where are you from again? Is it Toledo, Ohio?
Yeah, it's Ohio, upper. It's right. I'm right in the Central Basin area. The probably a little more west, the Western Central Basin.
Okay.
Little town, little fishing town.
Sure. That's great. I'm sure during the summertime, there's plenty of fishing to do, plenty of outdoor activities to do over there.
Yeah, I'm about a little less than a mile from the lake. We got a river right next to me, and right down the street, at the bottom of the street, there's a river. It's one of the most beautiful places to live, probably in the world, in the summer.
Right. And I'm sure you guys have very nasty winters, just like we do here in Chicago.
Yeah, we get it. We get it off the lake and the moisture off the lake, and in the summer it's a water wonderland. In the winter, it gets a little dicey.
And I'm sorry, just because my geography is lacking at the moment. Which Great Lake are you talking about? Not Lake Michigan, not Lake Superior.
Oh no, Lake Erie.
Lake Erie.
Yeah, I'm in Upper Ohio, northeast Ohio, about 40 miles out of Cleveland.
You guys get that lake effect snow over there that's extra heavy, right?
Yeah, it starts a little lake effect when it comes down. It comes through and it picks up moisture as it comes across the lake, and it drops it right on us. Being so close to the lake, sometimes it goes over me. A lot of times it goes over me, and that's a good thing. And it's a weird thing that happens when you're up against a big lake like that.
Yeah, we know all about that.
Yeah, I know. You're in Chicago area.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
I live in a second ring suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
And Bob, Polska Bob, he lives on the south side of Chicago, otherwise known as the armpit of the Midwest.
That's the southwest side, and I'm by Midway Airport.
Well, it's great to have someone close to you. I have a few friends, Mgtow friends in the area, but we never, like Steve Holka's right, like in the next town over. And there's a few Mgtows in the area, but we've never hooked up or, come over.
Oh, you know what? I don't recommend doing it. Meeting Cabo was probably the biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah. I do have a friend that's Mgtow minded. He's very liberal thinking like me, so he accepts the philosophy, and I guess that's why my name is A Traversable Philosophy. Mgtow is a traversable philosophy. you can get it.
Well,
You'll get it.
This is a good segue into our core, or what I wanted to speak about. Do you consider Mgtow a liberal philosophy, using the word liberal?
Liberal, I wouldn't say in the more as for philosophy goes, in the modern philosophy of liberal, sort of you're willing to accept things that you weren't willing to accept when you were younger, or some new information came along, you looked at it and it was right.
Okay, because
not
it seems that the word liberal
yeah, it's got
sometimes is it can carry with it a negative stigma or connotation.
right. If you
Although
think about it in the libertine sense, that would be libertine, and that would be the sexual sense. Or liberal in the new modern, postmodern sense would mean that no, not in a postmodern sense, and more in the modernism sense. I'm sort of a modernist.
Okay.
I use
okay,
words
because
the way they're supposed to be used.
yeah, no, right. Words are very important. Yeah, right. I consider myself maybe not a libertine, maybe more of a libertarian. But yeah, just the
Libertarian.
word.
Yeah, I started
You
out
gotta
as
be
a
careful.
libertarian, a political libertarian when I was young, Ross Perot and stuff like that. And
Sure, sure. I used to like Ross Perot. He used to talk of the what was it, the a huge sucking sound, all the
yeah,
jobs that will be lost. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
Isn't that back in NAFTA days?
Oh
Right,
God, yeah,
exactly. That was him referring to
pre
NAFTA.
NAFTA. Yeah, that was a long
So
time.
can you kindly and what do you prefer to be called? Joe, Traversable Mgtow, Trav? What?
I prefer Trav when I'm on the air. It's sort of my name when I'm on the air. I'm Joe, but I prefer Trav when I'm on the air.
Trav. Okay, great. Trav, can you please introduce yourself? Take like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm assuming half the people here are going to be at least familiar with you.
Oh
But can you introduce yourself for anyone else? Who, what, when, where, why? What brought you to Mgtow? Just take it away.
okay. I was, I wasn't always a Mgtow. I was born and raised a lot like Joey, my friend Joey. We see the eye to eye on a lot of things. I was born an Irish, poor young Irishman in Cleveland, and I was a Catholic, Irish Catholic, born and raised with that traditional thinking, and I went out and did all the things an Irish Catholic boy would do. I got married and had some kids, and trusted in the system. Somewhere along that route, I got the rug pulled off from under me, and everything became a lie in my life. Existentialism became important to me. Skepticism became important to me. The things that I didn't have to think about because there was no stress on my life. After that, there was just total stress. During that process, it was a nasty. It was she turned into a feminist, total pure feminist, and there was some things that happened to me that probably shouldn't have happened. I don't deserve those things. I don't deserve to be called a misogynist or a bad man. Even I was a good man. I'm a good father. My son's in the next room. If anybody wants a glowing review of my fatherhood, my son can give it to you. I did everything I was supposed to do. I joined the army after I didn't finish high school. I joined the army when I was very young, 17, and then I went off and did that. Got my high school diploma while I was in the army. Well, a little after I came out of the army, but I did that and started college and did everything I was supposed to do, and got a good job. Worked for my family for 16 years. And then all of a sudden, this new thing came in. Their women were acting differently, and feminism. I don't know if it was 100% feminism or I came home one day and things had changed for me. She had moved in another man, which was my brother, and together they had devised a plot. I think I'm pretty sure it was them. I'm out in the backyard having a gin and tonic with some lemon juice in it, and one day later I'm in the hospital for glycoethanol poisoning.
Wow.
I was going to say, do you know what they tried to poison you with? It could have just
Yeah,
been arsenic. Or
it
go
was,
ahead, go ahead.
it was glycoethanol. It would change my life. It would change my life in a horrible way for about 5 to 7 years. I was a blubbering idiot. I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. Hardly could walk. It was a living nightmare hell. And
Are
during
you
that
saying
time,
that? Are you saying those were the long-term effects of the
that was
drug, or are you saying the emotional
No.
The emotional damage and the trauma?
It was probably a lot of things, but the long-term effects of glycoethanol poisoning is horrible. You don't want to go through it. I wished every day for death. And I woke up that day. I passed out on the steps that day, and I woke up with them. The two of them had a mirror up to my mouth, and they were saying, "Is he dead yet?"
Jeez.
Wonderful.
And,
Wow.
and the next few weeks, the police came, removed me from the house, so I was homeless. I was experiencing a lot of pain. I spent a year in the hospital, almost in and out. The next 5 years, where I had a $360,000 insurance policy. I was working at a great job, doing everything a male would do in that situation, and then all came crashing down from that. And then I started searching, and what was wrong with my life? The existentialism came in. What was wrong with what I was doing? But I seen something different, and I had to take account for my delusion. Where was I delusional? And that's what brought me to Mgtow.
I've listened to you speak, or I've listened to a lot of your work, and by the way, I appreciate it. It's a very long, I don't know what to call it, a compendium, or it's not written down. It's mostly spoken, so it's oral, but it's like a library. It's like a video. It's like a, I don't know, help me out, like an audio library. You have a lot of work.
Yeah, I do.
And I hear you speak about that. I think you actually go a little bit hard on yourself. I mean, you have to admit to a certain extent that
Right.
men are lied to, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you weren't told all of these truths, Is that,
Right.
don't you think that that's fair to say, or what are your thoughts on that?
Right, I was lied to. It was the between the religion and the state and the whole traditional atmosphere that was supposed to work out. I felt I was lied to on a lot of things in life. And when I started investigating these things, that's what we talk about in Mgtow. When I started investigating the ideas of what I was lied to, the religion,
You can see it.
she's gonna love me thing, and she's gonna, this is gonna be forever, and we're gonna raise a family and that stuff, and that was just a big lie to get me.
It's not written down. Can you turn that off?
Yeah, it's just a big lie to get you into that trap, and then that's the trap that we talk about, the minefield. The poison mushrooms, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to call it, that's a trap. And 92%, when I started doing the real research on it, 92% of divorce in America. The numbers that they give you are a lie. That's a lawyer conception of what he sees, 50-50. It's more like 86 to 92%. And
are you talking about the percent
divorce.
of people who get divorced?
Yeah, and it's that from that lie, we get told that it's more 86% of it's a common fact. 86% of people that get married between 20 and 32 will get a divorce, and then it goes on from there.
Now, of course, all of these statistics are constantly fluctuating.
Right.
Things are always in flux. My understanding was something similar to what you just said. To the best of my knowledge, yes, we men in general are essentially lied to, and they say that half of all marriages fail, but that's very misleading.
Right.
What it is, it's more like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they say half, and that's the big.
That's the common. That's the common refrain, or that's the common adage. But really, it's like 51 or 52% within 4 years. It's about 70% within 7 years, and it's approaching 90%. Somewhere like 85 to 86% within 10 years. Basically, almost 9 out of 10 marriages fail within 10 years. That's a statistical fact.
Yeah, so that's a big lie, and you have to ask yourself the question. It's you do this research, and then you ask yourself, who benefits from this? You have to ask yourself.
Right, qui bono, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you do that with yourself. And somewhere during the time, I had to restore my brain, I had to restore my body. It took me about 10 years to do that. I had to grow a new body. Every part of my body was destructed. It was wasted. It was you know, the poison does a lot of things to you. So during that time, I spent a lot of time in the library just reading men's rights subjects and you know, philosophy and that stuff, how to think right again. And finally, I got back to myself, and that was about 19, you know, somewhere right around the early 2000s, 2008, somewhere around there. I got back to being myself, and I became a men's rights activist at that point.
Sure. Great.
And
So how old? I'm sorry to interrupt you. How old were you when you got married, and how old were you when, let's say, your divorce finalized?
Oh, I was like 24 when I got married, and
Okay.
my divorce was finalized right at 39.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So you were married for 15 years thereabouts?
Yeah, so right around 16 years, 39 to 40. And
Okay.
so you know, I've been, you know, single for a long time. Being 40 and married and single is a damn fine thing.
I'm 38 and I'm single, and I can tell you it's the level of stress I believe is much lower than the average man my age who is unfortunately shackled to the institution of marriage.
Right. Yeah. And it doesn't end there. That's what I found out. It goes on till the kids move out of home, and they graduate and move out of home. And even then it doesn't end. It goes on the rest of your life. You're always kind of yoked to this person that
Sure.
you don't want nothing to do with. You would rather not hear their voice anymore. And especially I would rather not hear that voice, but I have to, and I have to go through this once. Even today, I have to go through this where I have to talk to it on the phone.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just going. I'm sorry. Can you turn that off? I'm sorry. If you can go into a little bit more detail. And I know, or I don't know. I can't really sympathize with you, although I feel I can empathize with you. Can you talk a little bit more about? I'm sorry. Did you say that your ex-wife and your brother?
Yeah.
You believe that the two of them were, I guess, romantically involved. So your brother was essentially, you know, I mean,
Right.
can you talk about that?
Well, what happened? What happened to him with the police and everything?
They started doing crack cocaine.
Wow.
And then the way I live is very much different. I live a very clean lifestyle. I was in the Army. I worked for the DEA. I'm anti-drug to the max. They went the other way. And then I had a $360,000 insurance policy on me.
Well, that's why she was trying to kill you.
And that's why I believe I can't prove this because it's like, it's
right.
You know, it's
right.
The FBI looked into it and everything. I was poisoned. They can't say this person did it or this person, but you got to know,
sure,
you know, who did it.
Right. Who else would it? Who's it going to be? Who? As the old saying, qui bono? Who would stand to benefit from you kicking the bucket?
But
Follow the money. Follow the money. And here's another question. I'm not at all criticizing you, but you know, don't you think maybe it's not the smartest idea to always have a life insurance policy on yourself?
I tell the guys now, if anybody out there has a life insurance policy on it, it's in somebody else's name besides your Mgtow friend.
Get rid of it ASAP. Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Let me if I may interrupt just for 1 minute. He's been waiting very patiently. Mgtow and Finium, are you there by any chance?
Yeah. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming in loud and clear.
Okay.
So I'm wanting to, you know, once I finish up with him, you know, I also want to interview you. I ask that you stay on, if that's okay, or if you have the time.
Yeah, I can't stay. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to say, you know, but it's, you know, you're welcome in the stream.
Okay. Yeah, I can't stay too long because I got some stuff to do tomorrow, but I'll stay as long as I can.
Cool.
Okay, great. And if I could
Yeah.
just take a second and also just say, I very much, it's a pleasure to speak with you. I eventually want to have, if not tonight, another time, I definitely want to have a in-depth conversation, sort of in the same vein. I want to ask you, about your life story, any
Oh, sure.
heartbreak, anything you want to share,
Okay.
what brought you to Mgtow, and yeah, if you want to take a second, just right now, can you share your channel? You also have a large body of work.
It is the Mgtow Infinium on YouTube, and I'm also kind of mirrored out on BitChute, and I'm trying to get some stuff done in terms of a blog, but that's still in progress and everything. But just look up the Mgtow Infinium, you'll come right to it on YouTube.
Sure. And when eventually we do talk, if not tonight, hopefully tonight. If not tonight, I want to get into detail about how you talk about, and I have also observed this. You talk about it. You call it, I believe, the reading or the scanning that women
Yeah,
can
scanning
do.
and reading, yeah.
Scanning and reading. Yeah, how women can actually, they don't even have to be looking at you directly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's very, very real. It's
Very real.
bizarre.
I've seen it before.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they can measure
bizarre,
the
when
testosterone in your
when somebody talks about it. But if you actually, let's say you go into like a Kroger and just stand there as a man and just look at how the women are doing things, you will see what I'm saying, what I'm talking about and everything, because it's very, very real. It's very, very real. But anyway.
Yeah, she'll measure your testosterone, your wealth within a matter of minutes. She'll ask you certain simple questions about what do you do. We've all been on dates, so it's like, what do you do for a living? How much? It's basically asking you how much money you make, and she looks at you. She looks at your testosterone, your mateability. She's instantly analyzing your what those kids would look like.
Sure, right. Your height, your weight, your any
weight,
blemishes in your skin.
Yeah.
Sure, if you have good teeth, even how you dress.
To put it short and sweet, it's all about gathering tactical data on you as a man. That's what it's about.
Right.
Yeah, that'll take about like 15 minutes, like you said. But we do that too.
I remember. So I've watched a number, not all, but more than half of Infinium's work or his videos. And I remember I'll share. I've shared this before. I made a video about it, but I'll share it right now. Some months ago, I went to a doctor, my primary physician, and there was a woman there, and she ended up essentially following me to my car. And Infinium, you may remember this. I remember you left a comment, and I just remember thinking about some of the videos of yours that I had watched, and I was thinking, wow, this woman is scanning me right now. I go into a taqueria, a taco joint, and I can see her across the street, standing in front of my car. Essentially, in my mind, I'm thinking she's waiting for me to initiate conversation or something. Why would this woman be standing in front of my car?
Yeah, she was tracking you. There's a number of things that women do, and it's kind of creepy, when you get into it, because like I've had them, like for instance, when I was working in my retail logistics job, doing grocery work and stuff like that, I had a gym thought come once to the store, and I was in the aisle, working and doing my stuff and everything. She comes and she, goes past me, bumps the pallet that I'm working with, just tries to get my attention, but I just, ignore her, so she gets mad, walks away. She comes back 2 weeks later, tries the same thing.
Right.
And gets really mad. Now I'm a black guy, and, she's white and everything. And the look that she gave me was, you black so-and-so, you better look at me, And I looked up at her and I was like, I don't need you. I don't want you, and she didn't come back. But that's what they do. And it's, like I said, it's creepy. It is, when you look at what they do to men, it is really, really creepy. I've had them, like there's a pattern where they, just creep up on you, just get behind you, and it's hard to explain, but women have the
No,
ability.
no, I understand what you're saying. This is
Yeah.
like deep level psychology. This is like psychosexual behavioral patterns where
Yeah,
like you said it. They'll scan you and they want to read you. They
Yeah.
want to see how much let's
Well-
say how affluent you might be, if you
Yeah.
might be a good person to talk to.
yeah,
No,
The
it's
biggest part of
fascinating.
that-
It's fascinating.
The biggest part of that
it-
is she
it-
thinks that you should acknowledge her.
Yeah.
And you should not
Yes.
turn her down. That's the most dangerous
No.
thing you could do.
Yeah.
Is just say no to her at
Yeah.
that point, because she might
Yeah.
get violent. She might make up a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they
Yeah,
get
well, I was
very
gonna,
incensed when you think that she's not your type.
Yeah. For instance, I was, and I kind of use this a lot as an example, and I'm going to kind of get into this a little bit, in terms of my story. But I was shopping one day, and we used to have these, what was it, Farm Fresh, these supermarkets. So I was shopping in this Farm Fresh, and I was trying to get some food and stuff like that. And this woman who apparently, she was dressed up. It was on Sunday. She was dressed up, like she came from church. She was going to church. And she starts to talk to me, and I got annoyed. I said, look, just leave me alone. Just don't talk to me. And so she says, trust and believe, and I said, look, just leave me alone. And she gets mad. And she starts to, say, like, who are you to tell me not to talk to you? And you can't tell a woman, a man cannot tell a woman not to talk to him. And then I said, look, you need to get away from me. And then she gets into, who the F are you? And I'm like, just like that, you go from Christian, trust and believe, to who the F are you? And so what does that mean if I got into a relationship with you and I have a disagreement with you, that Christianity goes out the door, that type of thing. But see, that's what I'm saying, with this stuff that these women are doing, it's so, in my mind, despicable. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, I've come to believe that women are actually predatorial in their they pretend that it's the men that are predatorial. I think that they prey on us just as much as we prey on them, if not more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually about 50-50. We do the same thing as men. You look in about 5 seconds, you can tell, is this the woman for me? It's either yes or no in your head.
Yeah.
It's like you would she give you good children? Would she, you're asking yourself that, whether you do it or not. You do that in a second. Men do it very much faster. But women, they feel for other things. There's social needs. That's where society and community come in. She wants to make sure communally you take care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a little more of a complex problem for her.
Yeah.
And that goes back to sexual crypsis and that stuff. And she wants support from the whole community.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've heard you speak on that. Can you? I actually forget what that means. What is sexual crypsis?
Sexual crypsis, and you got to look it up, right? If you're going to look for it, it's not TIS, it's SIS. Sexual crypsis, and she wants. They hide their fertility. Women hide their it's bacteria.
Oh, you're talking about how women. Oh, how we don't know when they're ovulating.
They hide their fertility. Why do they hide their fertility? Because she wants support from the entire community. She wants every man to think that they're the husband or they're the provider. It comes from we can see there's only a few species on this planet that does that, and human women are that one of those species. They hide their fertility. Otherwise, dogs know. You can see, they know when they're in heat. Cows and horses know when the other is in heat. Humans, you don't know. And that tells us something. We have to ask the question philosophically, what does she want? After that point, she wants the entire community of men, and it goes to what we see in society now, how our society is developed, the social service programs, the welfare, the all that. She wants to know she's taken care of. If within the legal system, it explains divorce, it explains baby mama support. It's she's getting a guy that can, but she still wants the community baby daddy number 1, 2, 3, and 4. She wants to do that too.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. So now you're sort of bringing up. This is reminding me of what's this called? What's the word? Psychology, evolutionary psychology. Are you saying
psychology, yeah.
Yeah, evolutionary psychology, which, by the way, a lot of leftists do not necessarily like that idea that evolutionary psychology is real. They openly admit that they believe in evolution,
but they reject it when a smarter male comes around and he starts asking the questions, like a smarter Mgtow male comes around and he says, "Why do you want this way?" So you can be taken care of in a way the whole community takes care of you. And that's better.
Yeah, that's where the psychology comes in. I find it amazing how people of, let's say, the far left, they openly admit that they believe in psychology.
Right.
They openly admit that they believe in evolution. But the second you mix those two things, that becomes politically incorrect.
Yeah, they balk on certain things. They have a cognitive bias when it comes to things. It's a conservative bias, but they do a conservative bias when something doesn't agree with them too. When it's an unfriendly.
Yeah, I'm conservative. I recognize that people of the right can also have a bias, if you will, on many things. I like how we can speak openly about the bias that people on the right can have, but for some reason, when you start doing that with the left, they seemingly nice people, all of a sudden they get real tight. They pretend like they're not like
they
that.
do the same kind of bias. They don't see it. The people on the right don't see it. The far right and the far left don't see their biases. And people generally, most Mgtows I find float somewhere in the middle of the spectrum where they're looking for the truth rather than what people tell them. So it's like I said, I'm a liberal. If I'm confronted with someone that tells me something truthful, I'll change my thinking and say, "Oh, that's right. I know you're right now. If you can prove it to me in several sort of a, like Kuhn would, or I'm a philosopher, and so if you can prove to me something like Kuhn would, I'll believe it. If you scientifically prove it to me." But if I go and say that to a liberal person, and I call those people libertine because they attach to the libertine aspects of that philosophy. They want the best of it. They want to be hedonistic about it.
When you say libertine, you mean like licentious, lascivious?
Yeah, licentious, lascivious, more. They want to be more sexually libertine and free.
Okay.
And when something comes along that says, well, when a male like me says, well, you're just looking for the best male you could possibly find so you can divorce them and then move on to baby daddy number 2, that offends them. But that's the truth. When we have 40% of the females in America, the proof's in the pudding. Just look at the numbers. We have 40%.
Right. Yeah. So why is that, do you think? Why is it that speaking the truth is so offensive, let's say, to the sensibilities of most women? Why is that? Because are they lying on purpose? Is it subconscious? I think it's on purpose.
Well, it's women don't have honor, and we talked about this last time. Men, I often hear men say, "Well, she did me wrong, man. She had no honor." No, they don't have honor. They have what's called conscience by concern. Whatever concerns them the most, that's what their conscience is. If she has a concern of money or housing or relationship wise or something, that's what concerns them. That's what she will work on. We have honor. Men have honor. Women have conscience by concern. It's in a very good book. I can give you the book. You can read about it. It's one of the better books in Mgtow.
Can you speak a little bit on, if I remember correctly, you had stated that you were not a crisis counselor, but like
I'm
it's like a
a
drug and
drug and
alcohol.
Yeah, I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. I used to be. I did that for a short
Okay,
period in my life.
I think Post Bob could really use your help.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
How
By the
can
way,
you
everyone, Post Bob is completely sober. I don't know if you noticed that. You may notice he's very reserved this evening.
Well,
Well, I think
I'm here to learn, actually.
MGTOW leads to thinking about yourself as more of a person. And once you start doing that, most alcoholism, most drug abuse and everything will leave you because you mature through that process. I'm a harm reduction counselor. So I believe in harm reduction, and I believe that most people mature out of it. But in males that drink heavily, they usually don't think of themselves as they're buying into all the garbage from this society that says they're less, that they just have to work hard and give their money to a woman. No, you don't have to do that.
Bob, are you listening, Post Bob?
Yes, I'm not giving my money to no women, though. I give it to the bar.
Okay.
No, once you start thinking about yourself,
I tip every single one of my bartenders, to tell you the truth.
There you go.
ego is so important. It's like when I walk into any job or anything, I think I'm the best thing that walked it through that door because Mgtow gave that back to me. I don't take people want to drag you down in this world because they want to put you in a subservient position where you're the slave. Once you start busting through that and you become a Mgtow lens, and I think the drinking goes down to a moderate stage. Now I'm not an abstinence guy. I'm having a drink right now, but you'll consider yourself worth more. And of somebody that considers themselves worth more would never put a toxic drug into their system or drink himself into oblivion.
Basically, is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Infinium. You were going to say?
Yeah, I think lately I've been thinking, and I have been talking about the profound nature of the Mgtow philosophy, and one of the profound things about it is our freedom and our ability to think freely about our freedom and how we can go about obtaining our freedom. And if you look at the ideology of womanism, ideology itself is rigid. It does not allow for free thought. It does not allow for critical thought. And if you object to what the ideology says, you will be destroyed. I think that's why, in essence, they're coming after the Mgtow philosophy so much, because how can you say something about a philosophy that says you are free as a man, and how can you tear that down? How can you what weapon can you use to tear that down? And so that's why, like, if you see, like, I guess it's Roma Army or whatever her name is, she comes out with this, that we're terrorists and things like that. That it's so idiotic. You know what I mean? And that's again. Go ahead.
Infinium, can I get you to speak for a second? I'm sorry to regurgitate the same story, but could you regurgitate? I remember listening to some of your work, and you would talk about how there were instances. I think it's you. How there were instances where your family members would try to like shame you, or like people in your family would say, how come you're not dating? Hey, I know this girl. There's this woman I know, and you would try to, I don't know, avoid that.
It's a long story, but
if you could just take a minute and share one example. Haven't you been like shamed and blamed by family members? Because they know you're a professional, you're doing well for yourself.
I've been told by my sister I need to go out and marry a single mother. I've been told by my dad before he died that I was a 50-year failure because I would not marry and carry on the family name, all types of things. So I've been going through a lot of shaming, and it's everywhere. You as a single man, you in this society, in the feminist plantation state, you cannot be single. You must do your duty. And see, that's what I have been seeing. With my dad, it was I had to do my duty and carry on the family name. I remember in one of my segments, I pointed out that he would always tell me that you have to have a quiver full of boys, so we can carry on the family name. They can do all of this, but never mind who's going to pay for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But and then I get it from my family, that you need to go out and get married and bear kids and stuff like that. And I look at all of that, and all I can say is thank God I never did get married. Thank God I didn't have kids. You know what I mean? Because it's of no value. And we are in a state right now. This world is in a state where the only thing that we men can do is to take care of ourselves and to do what we can to take care of ourselves, and never mind about this. It's BS to me. You know what I mean? Never mind about this BS about carrying on a family name, about carrying on your prodigy or whatever. It's not worth it. Well, think about it this way. With what's going on, you have a kid. The state wants to take that kid.
Right.
They want to inject them. They want to indoctrinate them. They want to take control of their teaching, everything. So you have to fight for all of that throughout the 18 years. And plus on top of that, your wife decides to get rid of you. You end up paying for that kid, whether you want to or not. All these things can happen to you. So, going from, well, I'll put it this way. I'd rather be shamed than to be caught up into that type of nightmare.
I agree. I'd
You know,
rather
I-
be shamed.
Yeah.
I'd rather be shamed than face the consequences
Yeah.
of divorce court or child custody
Yeah.
court. Or if I listen to this. I just went to the gym today. I'm sitting in the sauna and I'm talking to a guy I haven't seen in a while, maybe 6 months. He's a nice guy. He's a friend from the gym. He talks to me. He says, Joe, I broke my ankle just out of nowhere. I'm walking to the store. I trip and fall. I break my ankle. What if I were to break my ankle and I couldn't work? If I couldn't pay child support,
Yeah.
Right.
I could
They'll
lose
put
my
you in jail.
license. They'll put you in jail.
They'll
Yeah, put you in jail.
And
You
just,
you have a CDL, right?
Right. I
Yeah,
pushed
yeah,
2 kids for
yeah.
this.
Yeah. You lose it.
I pushed
You lose
200
it.
miles
Everything
with
you got.
ID.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm totally aware of that. Yeah. You. I
Yeah.
think it's after the second missed payment or child support payment, you are eligible to lose your CDL if you're in arrears.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that begs the question: how is a man going to sustain himself once you take away his ability to
The
work?
hypocrisy is glaring.
Yeah.
They'll take your driver's license. The first thing they're going to do is take your driver's license. Then you can't go to work.
Right. How are you going to
Why
drive
do
to
they
work?
do that? You got to ask the
Yeah.
question. Why do they do
Well,
that?
I think I know why. I think,
I know why they do it. It's so when you get pulled over, they can arrest you because you're driving without a license, and then
Yeah.
you go back into court or you go back in the jail and you get further behind in payments.
You get
Yeah.
further behind in payments. As you get further behind in payments, the federal government backs that up, and now they get twice the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Title 4D.
So they will help that process out.
Yeah. It's sad what they're doing to men. It's just
It's racketeering.
we
It is. Yeah. It's a racket.
It's total. It's all about money. It's nothing about making us better
No,
as
it's
men.
not. How dare you? How dare you
Yeah.
say that? It's in the best
Yeah.
interest of the children.
Yeah. Yeah.
The children.
I was looking at was a bank commercial, and again, the men are just there to have babies, to procreate, and to be wage slaves, and or to look dumb, and it's just sickening. And so that's getting back to my stuff. That's why I just look at um, what is happening, what I see other men going through, and and it's like they're willing to go through this, and it's like a false sense of nobility, which why should you die for that? Why should you, throw away your life for something like that, for somebody to say that you're worthless, and for a false sense of nobility, and so that's what's kind of on my, my spirit and everything, every day,
Chivalry.
yeah,
And it's a chivalry in fatherhood, and a lot of those things honor are all social concepts.
yeah,
They're not real. They're just how people feel.
yeah, yeah. It's I think marriage is a construct that is dead, you know, and people, and I think a lot of men are now waking up to that, and I think that's why the feminist plantation state is again coming after the Mgtow philosophy, because they need those wage slaves, and
Yeah.
and if you look at what happened before the coup, the birth rates, the marriage rates, all that was going downhill. There was a lot of I think was it that store Babies R Us? They had closed up right before the coup did. Major marriage venues were closing up and everything. Then the coup hits, divorce rates go up and everything. So they're hurting. They need wage slaves, and it's something
Right.
that men are realizing. Hey, no, I don't have to be a wage slave. And you see this great quitting type of cycle where men are just saying, hey, to hell with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
And
look
they're
at
walking away.
slavery, and they're going to flatly tell you that in every society across the world, you need 20 to 30% slaves.
Yeah,
And you can name them what you want to name them. You can call them what you want to call them. But in America and in most free countries, what we call them is fathers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, and I'm going to dip after this, but the despicable thing is that they're taking away every avenue for men to be fathers. Like, for instance, I heard that they're trying to push to get rid of Father's Day,
Right.
and that's despicable, And women have, if you look at, they have almost all year where they get celebrated, and you can't give we men one day.
That's the thing. They're always celebrated. Men are
Yeah,
always told that they're less, that they're not good, that they're it's from that first when you're in kindergarten, little boys are little girls are cinnamon and spice and everything nice. Little boys are puppy tails and dog shit.
yeah, oh yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I have this sneaking suspicion that part of it is deeply psychological. The system,
yeah,
I believe, they want to rob men of their
Right.
dignity, and that's
They
how they get
want
away with it.
They
yeah,
want you to be subservient to the
yeah,
man. And that's all it is. They want you to feel like you're less. And then
yeah,
they had me for years
Right,
and
so
years.
that
I
you
yeah,
comply.
was a little bit less than what I. That's why I say it's so important for a Mgtow to think he's the best thing that ever walked into the room.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, I
if you
also
look at,
think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, if you look at what happened to Will Smith,
Yeah.
that is a perfect example of a man being deconstructed by a woman
Right.
on live TV. And she did everything. She threw him under the bus
Yeah.
after he did that simp out. So if anything, that's a perfect example of it.
She made him do that with just a
Yeah,
look. With
yeah,
a look.
yeah. Now
Not to
he's lost.
mention,
Since
since you bring up Will Smith, do you guys know his son frequently dresses in female attire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out that. I found
Skittles.
that out the other day. Yeah, yeah. And
Skittles.
that's another thing. What they're
Yeah,
doing
they have an open
to
relationship.
young boys.
Right.
They're doing these things. They're well, they're doing it to men in general. They're feminizing them. And taking away everything that is masculine. And that's that's something that really sickens me, you know, because it, you know, if we look at ourselves as men, we're beautiful beings, and there's no reason, you know. And I'm not a strong guy. I'm not, you know, I'm, you know, kind of, you know, nerdy type of, but I enjoy being a man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I look at these effeminate men, you know, and it's like everywhere you go, and it's like I think I saw some content the other day. This effeminate man was on there with the nails and stuff like that, and saying we need to bow down to the queens and stuff like that. I'm like, no, hell no, no,
Damn.
you know, it's
It's
disgusting.
everywhere. It's South
Yeah.
by Southwest. You know, these guys
Yeah.
that look all weak and pathetic. They,
Yeah.
they look like a fried egg in a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's first thing you got to do as a Mgtow, start taking that testosterone, get it back up, get your man on, and you know, and think of yourself more. Like, well, who's the other guest then? Now I was interested in who are the other two.
Oh yes, I'm sorry if I may interrupt. There are two guests right now. The first is OST, and the second is RAD or RAD.
Okay,
Can you guys introduce yourselves?
This is Rebel Against Defeat, also known as Rad. Cowboy, quit waffling.
Sorry, it's what I do.
We waffler. Where's Polska? Is Polska in the chat?
Yeah, I'm here, Rebel.
I agree with who's the one in the beer? I can't read the avatar names. Mgtow Infinium?
Infinium?
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, what happens is men really need to man up and get the testosterone back on. It's as simple as that. And no more victim status. No more.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. We could all cut our balls off and start putting dresses on.
Castrate ourselves and
that's what they want. That's what they want us to do. They want us to be effeminate. Look what China and Russia are doing. They're kicking out all the Skittles, all the weak men.
Right. Right. Oh, yeah.
I thought
North Korea for that. The emasculated, effeminate male has become it.
Yep.
That's what we
want. Oh yeah, K-pop. They call it K-pop.
K-pop. Yeah. Dressed like girls.
These boys running around with dyed hair and no facial hair and you know, with earrings in their nose and their ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about this right here, this is the secondary sexual characteristic of a male, and it's almost outlawed. Yeah.
Yeah, I made a video about it. Just the presence of a man wearing a beard at this point, I think is, I think it may carry with it, I don't know, political undertones, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like you're making.
They want you to shave your face like a woman.
Right, that's what they want. Yeah.
And
in
that's
fact,
why
now
I
that
do
this. Who was it? No. I'm sorry. For a second, I was thinking it was. Never mind. For a second, I was thinking it was Infinium. No, do you guys remember? Thomas Lundy, Mr. Thomas Lundy? He's a fellow Mgtow.
What happened to him? Do you know?
No, I haven't seen him for weeks. I haven't seen any work from him for months.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do a video either in a while.
Yeah,
I remember he made a video. Specifically mentioning how he mentions that what he calls like the evil class of people, how they're all clean shaven.
Yeah,
and you know, like if you look at all the bankers, they're all clean shaven.
Yeah.
None of them carry beards.
Oh yeah.
He finds that weird.
Yeah, it's they take away from the beginning of our very humanity. They want to take away our they want to take away your testosterone. They want to take away your secondary sexual characteristics, the very things that make you a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Polska Bob?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just sitting here listening. I could listen to you guys talk all day. Who's the other guy? Who's OST Cowboy?
I'm not sure who's still in the chat. I'm not facing the screen. I see myself.
OST.
OST.
Yeah.
OST. Are you there? OST Factory?
Yeah. Hi, Cowboy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining us. Can you please take a minute and reintroduce yourself? I obviously know who you are, but for anyone who's new, can you just talk for a second about yourself and what you can call your Mgtow journey, or you come to Mgtow?
Yeah, sure. So, hey everyone, this is OST Factory from India. I've been a Mgtow since 2016, so about 6 years now. And so I'm on monk mode since 2016 itself. And
Monk mode, cool.
yeah. So and some of my favorite. I'm sorry. What is that?
What you gotta do?
Yeah, absolutely. And some of my favorite Mgtow content creators are Sandman, Hammerhand, uh, Cowboy, obviously, and yeah. So that's pretty much it about myself.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Where's Polska? Is he waffling?
He's kind of jittering. He's completely sober, so
I'm actually gonna go out for a smoke right now.
he's got the shakes real bad.
Bob, no waffling.
If you want to go buy a 6-pack of beer, I'll drink.
No, I'm gonna get going.
Okay.
You guys
Anyway,
in the same location, huh?
I'm sorry.
You guys in the same location? Are you at the bar?
Yes, no, we're not at the bar. I convinced him to come over to my apartment. He's at my apartment right now. I made him a personal pan pizza, and then I cooked myself an Atkins chicken dish, and I told him I wanted to teach him how to live stream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's getting to the point. I think I can't remember. I'm sorry, the exact number you need. He wants to get his channel up to the point where he has enough subscribers to live stream.
Cool. Good. We need more Mgtows.
We need as many
I talk about it all the time. So if I could, and I'm sorry, if I could pivot back to you, Traversable, can you talk a little bit more just for a second? And if there's anything you don't feel comfortable talking about, you don't have to. But you're usually a very open
I'm
guy.
pretty honest with my history.
Can you talk a little bit more about your divorce? Did you have to pay child support? Did they hit you for was there
all the regular stuff I had to go through for many years, and that'll keep you down. And I was sick, it wasn't easy for me to do. So you can imagine that I was always running from the law, and I had to make 4 IDs. I had to make 4 personalities so they wouldn't catch me. I had to use 4 addresses. It was a horrible time in my life. I couldn't, spend time in the hospital. There was kidney dialysis. There was a lot of things I needed to go through, and they weren't going to let me. All they wanted me to do was go to work, and pay the money, and they would let me die. And so, all the regular things a guy in my position would have had to go through, I had to go through. And that's the big awakening part too. There's a lot of pain with that. And living on ramen noodles, 1-room apartments.
Sure, absolutely. And how many children were you paying child support on? Just 1?
3.
Wow.
Oh, 3. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I totally missed that. I knew you had children, but for some reason I thought you only had one son. Never mind.
No, I have a son with me now. He lives with me, and he just moved in a few months ago, and he's a great kid. My other 2 kids do very well. It eventually ends, but 30 years of working, and it takes its toll.
Yeah, not to mention you were not able to build, let's say, the proper nest egg that you may have wanted for retirement to have as comfortable a retirement as you could have had.
Yeah, that's the big thing. At the end, that divorce will rob you of everything. After 16 years, I'm going on 40. My 20s were wasted. My 30s were wasted. Everything's gone. And I'm looking at a new future as an older man. And like, wow, what do I do now? That was the big mind blow at that time. It was like, wow, how do I do this now? And
yeah, I don't know what to say to that. It's I mean, I basically see it as like a crime. All of this forced this, and again, I'm not saying. See, I agree with most of what you say. I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily agree with everything that you say, but one thing you talk about. I'm sorry.
Mgtow will certainly help you through that process if you get to that point where you're there, and then you start thinking the Mgtow way. It helped. I rebounded in about 5 years. I mean,
I wanted to touch on the idea of child support. I'm not. I know you talk about, the idea of a father is you could equate it with like a social construct,
right? It is.
And I understand where you're coming from. Maybe it's just the residue of how I was raised.
It's hard.
It's hard
to. I've had some of my best friends lash out when I say that.
How dare you say that? How dare you?
It's hard because that's the thing. Men's right hinges on that idea that we're fathers, and I go against it. We're not fathers. That's a social construct built to keep us in this position. You have very little to do with that process. It's 100%.
Well, I guess I would slightly disagree with you, or maybe I just haven't crossed that bridge yet. My problem is how can I put it? I don't like the idea that men are not allowed to decide how much that they pay in child support. I don't necessarily. I think my understanding is it's a percentage of how much you make.
You already pay for child support. You live in a society that taxes you so they can take care of the women, and they've already taken that money.
Sure, right. I'm sort of at the point. I've come to think that all of society really is essentially formatted in this way, and that is to figure out a way, one way or by hook or by crook, as they say, to transfer the wealth or the productivity of a man from the man to the woman, and then the woman, she spends the money, whatever it goes through to government, to corporations, and of course it's facilitated by government.
Well, we have a Durkheim social fact playing out here, and I don't know if you know what Durkheim social fact is. It's a triangle. The money goes up to the government, and they take what they want, and then they trickle it down to the females. If it went straight over to the females, your taxes would be 1/3 of what they are. The government's a big racketeering process. They're paying themselves.
Sure, right. Yeah, no, it's I don't even get me started. It's ridiculous. It's a scam. Men are basically slaves. I mean, this is
right. If society worked like we were supposed to work, then all men would just pay taxes. I have no problem with that. Pay taxes. The girls are taken care of. They can do whatever they want. No skin off of my back. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I'll pay my taxes. But these other people stealing the money, that's what bothers me. And then they double charge you for child support. That's the part.
Yeah, and remember, if you ever fall into arrears on child support, you have to pay the interest.
Mm-hmm. They'll put you in.
I'm sorry.
They'll take your house when you're 60. Then.
I would. Hey, cowboy. I would like to add something to this. So earlier we were talking about like how the courts will take away your driver's license if you fall behind on your payments. So the way I see it, the reason they do it is because they want to make an example out of you, so that other people who are in the system like going through the same thing don't see you as an example and try to pay on time, because because if you think about it, if the court really wants you to pay, why would you take away your driver's license and take away your opportunity to work?
Assist you in helping you to pay.
Right.
If you're
absolutely.
You're saying it's based on fear. They do this purposely to strike fear into the heart of the average man to make sure that they keep paying.
Right. It's a whole. You're going to go to jail and get raped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you're and
The
then you
real
become
rape
a
statistic,
person,
right?
you have a felony,
Yeah.
and then they got you. They got you where they want you. You're the slave. You're the second class citizen now.
You know, I
Yep.
remember learning. I remember learning that more men in America get raped every year than women. Are
Yeah.
any of you guys aware of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. True.
However,
I've heard Gavin McInnes. I've heard Gavin McInnes quote this like several times. Like the
When you think
if
about that, that's so screwed up.
yeah
The Christian mentality is we're going to rape you back into subservience.
Yeah.
That's the Christian, the Christian retributive justice is we're going to
Yeah.
rape you back into subservience. So you get back on the man train. You start manning up and doing your part. And they wonder why Mgtow is so dangerous. Once you start thinking about that, you start thinking about, I would like to do something to you people.
Yeah. One other thing too, with the child support thing is that the pattern of women who rack up like 2 and 3 guys, to have that.
What is that? What do you call it?
Yeah. What is that?
If a man had 4 wives, what would you call that?
Yeah.
That's polygamy.
Yeah.
Polygamy and slavery go hand in hand. We've
proved
that.
Yeah. And it's shameful. It's like it's a rat.
Shameful. It's barbaric.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're just using these kids. I know. Well, one in my family is like she's got 3.
Yeah, 3 husbands. Yeah, good. She's doing good. Huh?
Audio check.
And
mic check. Mic check. Microphone.
yeah, what's up? Who's that?
Sweet Padre.
Oh yeah, right. Hey, Sweet Padre, welcome. Can you please take a minute and introduce yourself?
Yes. Good evening. Thank you for having me on. My name is Sweet Padre. I'm a content producer. I produce content sporadically, but I tend to want to do usually things that are on the deeper end of the philosophy, as opposed to the more superficial thing, which is not bad, because a lot of guys get introduced to the philosophy by more superficial, by way of more superficial topics. But I've been a Mgtow now, I want to say, since 2017, 2018. And probably one of the best things that happened to me, because I was really in a situation where, I was lost. I really was lost. Went through a horrible divorce, but was I was in the PUA community for a while, and so I had my fun and games with women. But I stepped out of that for a while, and dedicate myself to other things. And then I found Mgtow. I was doing a delivery. I'm a truck driver. Doing a delivery at a construction site one day, and this guy approached me, and he asked me if I was married. I thought, oh shit, this guy's fucking gay, But it turned out he was a really cool guy, and he was really young, and he already had his own trucking business. And so I started talking to the guy, and he started to, he asked me, did I know what Mgtow was? And he said it was something new. And he said that that Mgtow, he told me he was an incel. And I told him, it's a messy situation, getting married, this, that, and the other. And so we began talking about women. And I said to myself, I gotta find out more about what this Mgtow thing is. And so I went on YouTube, and Sandman was there, and so was at that point, Stardust was producing a lot of content. Um, there was another content producer. His name escapes me, but he was big in the manosphere. Hispanic guy, I forget his name, but I mean, all the greats of Mgtow, like Big John and all those guys were really producing content when I first started listening to the philosophy, and later on I was inspired to do my first video, um, because of Mr. Elite, uh, who is now the Red Pill Elite experience, and it's all been it's all been a great experience for me. Online I've become part of this great community, and it's far from what the media paint us paints us as. It's a very diverse community from men from all over the world that listen to this content and produce this kind of content, and the philosophy is growing in leaps and bounds despite uh, what the media is trying to do and what the politicians are trying to do. And so that's in a nutshell. That's how I was introduced into the philosophy.
Can you talk a second? And by the way, what can I call you? Sweet or Padre? Sweet Padre?
You can call
What
me
would
Sweet
you?
Padre. Or some people say Padre. It's fine too. That's
Okay.
good.
Um.
I've been
So yeah,
I've been called worse
Sweet
things.
Padre. Can you please share just for a second? How many kids do you have? I remember you've spoken about you have children.
Yes, I have two teenage children, and one of which is a boy and the other a girl. And this serves as evidence to others out there, who tend to say that we hate women. We do not hate women. The Mgtow, many of the Mgtow have been involved with women, with several women, in fact, many of us. And I do love my daughter, and I do love my mother, and I have a sister as well. But I also recognize that the system is set up in such a way that does not benefit a man. And for as much as you're, you know out of your heart, you still love your your family members, right? Your female family members. There's always that possibility that things will not work out for you in the end, because especially when it comes to the interaction between a man and his wife. um, they're holding all the cards.
Right.
And you know I I have I have um, an equal amount of love for both of my children, my daughter and son. And yet, um, you know, there is in me the recognition that my daughter is unable to appreciate, or so the things I do for them, or to sympathize with some of the things that 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 I can feel for them. You see, as a parent. And and so and so it's difficult, because I guess most men are looking for a woman, not because, and this is setting the parenting issue aside, and heading back into the relationship arena here. Most men are looking for a woman, in my opinion, um, not because of the sex, because that can get a little bit old and perhaps even boring after a while. But we tend to want to search or look for a woman because of the companionship, and we want to feel loved. We want to feel some sort of affection coming from that other individual. You see, perhaps maybe I'm somewhat of a romantic, and maybe it's not everyone. And nowadays a lot of men are brainwashed by big corporate giants, right? To believe that, hey, this pair of tits and this ass, it's what's gonna give you satisfaction. But deep down, I believe that most men know that women, uh, that they want much more from a woman, other than sex. You see, and so for a man that's looking for affection, you see, we can come into the marketplace today, the sexual marketplace today, and there's nothing to be found because all the women have been brainwashed into believing that all men are evil, and so they have no affection for a man. They're incapable of producing any sort of affection for a man, incapable of connecting with a man, and so it's tough because without that principle of care coming from them, you see, no real connection can take place. And so it's true for an intimate relationship, and it's also true in the parenting arena, you see, where the little young girls have been brainwashed by feminists and by other interested parties into believing that men are just objects to be used and abused and tossed aside and taking resources from. And so that makes it hard, interacting with women, um, hoping that some of um, the care that we put out is is reflected back to us. And so we're in a society that is going down a uh, really dark path here. And I don't know what to make of it. I try as much as I.
I think it's just becoming more transactional. The love is gone. It's all just what can you do for me, and this is what I need from you.
Yeah, we want to be appreciated for what we do, for our strengths, and all we get is disdain. And that's a hard thing to take as a man when we do so much for the society. You look behind me, we built that, and we do we do things that are godlike, and all we need is a little appreciation, but we don't never get that.
And
Well, I think.
Mhm.
Or go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, sir. Your name?
Trav.
I'm sorry.
Trav.
Trev. Okay. You just said that men do things that are godlike, and that is so correct. We, according to the scriptures, right? Not only Christian scriptures, but other philosophies as well. Men are created to resemble um, a greater force, a greater being, right? The force of creation. We are in that sense godlike. And so we look at all this creation, all these things that we've created, right? The skyscrapers, the automobiles, the fancy computers, and it's all been men. It's been it's the magic of men. Is the thing that we bring to the world that everyone benefits from. And today, we're not being appreciated because of that. Despite um, that all those beautiful things that we've created that have made uh, living on this earth, as pleasurable as it can be. And the women have a role that they could be playing too. You see, the role of supporting this creation.
Right.
But
right. You're expected as a man to play this role, to do the thing, to be this honorable person, this thing in society. And then when it comes down to somebody else playing their role, well, that's just a role. I don't want to do that role. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do my role either. I'd rather, go out, ride my bike and, just live minimally and, take care of myself.
It's like this. What was it, last year or so? This woman, computer scientist by the name of Katie Borman, was given all these accolades for discovering this black hole. And it was made to seem that she did everything. And in reality, all she did was write, there's a programming language called Python. And she wrote a small bit of code to collate photographic data, which was taken off these satellite tracking systems. And that's all she did, but she gets all the credit And
Yeah,
you think about it, the extent of what it took to get that picture. You have satellite tracking systems. Those things need to be built. Those things need to be programmed. They need to be, and this was done worldwide. This was a satellite tracking system. I mean, a photograph, whatever it was, but it was a system of satellite dishes, which was worldwide. And it was made to seem that she did this thing A to Z, when in actuality, she just had a small part of it, and she, got the credit for it.
They wanted to take the benefits away from the guy that name that was the namesake of the program, and they said he did most of the work, and then they's like, oh, no, you have to give it to femininity.
And I remember there was this movie by the name of Numbers, and they said that these black women, and and as a part of a team, yes, you should get credit, whether you're black or white or whatever. Yeah. But they made it seem that Warner von Braun did not build the Saturn V rocket. It was actuality because of his work that we got to the moon, if you believe it. But they're saying that these women, if it was not for these women, this would have never happened, and again, it's to downplay.
Oh yeah, didn't they make a movie, Unsung Heroes, or what was that movie?
Called Numbers or something like that. Yeah,
she had a very cool part in the whole process, but
and if you're a part of a team and you contributed to the success of that team, then yes, you get the credit. But to say that these women, because of their work, because they were black or whatever, that solely because of them we got to the moon and back, that's wrong. It's despicable, But anyway,
to tell me that all those people didn't make it to those positions simply by merit was, I'm sure she made it to her position by merit, but it's just to say that the rest of them didn't make it to their positions by merit is ludicrous.
And that's what's so sickening to me. It's just that these women. Well, there was this incident with this bridge down in Florida. Where these and they're trying to cover it up.
That bridge collapse.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a big construction company.
They tried to move that span. A large structure like that, and put it in place, and it was built wrong from the get-go, and it collapsed and killed people. And see, they have incidences like this, which happen. They get covered up, or you have an Elizabeth Holmes type situation. Elizabeth Holmes set the medical technology business back years.
Yeah,
and
think about
that.
We had coronavirus. If Elizabeth Holmes would have did what she said she was going to do, what a male probably would have did, it would have been so much better off when Corona had come around. She killed millions.
Yeah. She actually endangered people's lives because they put that thing. What was it? The name Einstein, whatever it was. They put that thing in Walgreens, and the people were using that thing before it was actually, approved for, use on customers and stuff like that. And so, again,
you would have been able to go down to your local clinic, got a blood test, and known.
So it's things like that. So I got
15 minutes it would have took.
Padre,
but
I agree.
But you know what, guys? You know what, guys? I want to add something to this great conversation that you guys are having here, because women, there are many women nowadays that is, they're not just making mistakes. What they're doing is they're deliberately destroying society as a matter of pride, because
that's what I think. I agree.
They see men, they see all the things that have been created, right? And they're sold on this idea that, hey, they've been your oppressors, right? And so since supposedly we're the oppressors, then all the things that we created are they're no good to them, and so it's in their interest to destroy all of it, and to in order to create a new society, a society that's supposedly going to be a utopia brought about by women, and their their daddy government. But of course, none of these, neither the women nor government are able to produce. Only men are able to produce. You see, the only thing that these people can do is reverse,
steal your utility.
Yeah.
steal our utilities, absolutely right, and reverse all the positive things that men are able to bring to the world.
Well,
I would also like to add something to this conversation, since we are talking about Python and computer programming. So I'm a computer engineer myself, and I know that there are some really great female programmers in my field, but in general, and I repeat, in general, women are not as good in programming as men. So we have a saying that apparently being able to print "Hello World" using a program is considered programming these days, and we'd like to throw it on, and we like to throw it in women's faces all the time.
Yeah.
Talking about programming, okay.
There was Carly Fiorina, and if you know about her, she was in control of HP, and HP. When she had it, they had bought up Digital Equipment Corporation. They bought up Compaq, and Digital Equipment Corporation. They had very advanced computing capabilities. They had 32-bit chips, and even they were working on 64-bit chips at that time. And had Carly Fiorina did the right things, we would have computing systems which are way more advanced than what we have right now. But she destroyed that and nearly destroyed HP.
With Alyssa Myers.
Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing. So she destroyed Yahoo single-handedly.
Yeah. Took it from a $35 billion company to a $5 billion company in a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
$300 billion company to a $5 billion company in a year.
Yeah. And see, they you don't hear about things like that, but if a man, or you hear about like maybe a Bernie Sanders who messed up with the MCI, that type of thing. I think it was Bernie Sanders. I can't remember, but you hear about these guys and you hear about them on and on. But when a woman has a great failure like that, it's kind of swept under the rug, and that again it's just speaking to the type of.
Imagine the different world we have if it wasn't for Alyssa Myers and the girl from Theranos.
Yeah.
We'd be 10 times more medically ready for viruses and stuff if it wasn't for Theranos. And Alyssa Myers, we'd have a competing online to Yahoo.
Yeah.
Or YouTube. YouTube and Yahoo would be competing right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's despicable. And see, you don't hear, every time I turn on the TV, you hear this woman first, and we have to promote the girls, and we have to push the feminist thing and everything. And I, as a person that has been in the technology realm and everything, and I see all this destruction, it's like, damn,
wow.
Guys,
and she stole we're talking the Apple app that she just stole it, plain stole it, and tried to use it for something it was never made for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then rode that to billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Based on Go Girl. And we have to blame some men for this too. The men let that happen.
They simply cannot produce. They simply cannot compete with men. They're down for 1 week out of the month. Every month, they're down for 1 week.
Let's talk about the simps that let that happen.
I'm sorry?
There's always the simps that let that happen. The simps that wanted that wanted their presence around.
Yeah.
The simps that made that happen. That's 100% simping.
but we're talking about programming, right? But there's another kind of programming taking place here, a much sinister agenda, and all of this fits into that system, where the women are put on a pedestal
Yeah.
by Uncle Sam. So it's kind of like an inverted pyramid, right? You see the men that are supposed to be uh, at the at the top echelon of this ladder, they're put at the bottom, the women in the middle, and then of course the government on top. You see, it's supposed to be the other way around, especially in America. It's supposed to be the other way around, But the agenda, or the program, or the agenda that we're talking about here is set up in such a way that there are a few actors benefiting from this system. You see, and they're getting immensely wealthy out of all of it.
Yeah.
But that's not the end game. The end game is not wealth for these people. They're really motivated by control. They want to make out of this country. They want to make out of the West what they've already done in the Far East. Where all there's no such thing as freedom. Freedom of the individual.
A system of classism.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We're actually more like a system where there is no social class except for a small oligarchy of people, and then everybody else. You see?
Yeah.
So it'll be
carries
like
a lot of weight in that classism system. The V, the split V, that carries a lot of weight.
it could be a pyramid, or it could be the complete absence of societal a societal skill, but it won't be any middle class, that's for sure. They're already done away with the middle class in this country. We're talking, they say 15% inflation, 10% inflation. Let's look at the price of an orange. You go to the supermarket, right? An orange a couple years ago was 30 cents. Now it's $1.
I'm old enough to remember what I paid for food in the 80s and 90s, and it's 3 times, 4 times the price now.
Yeah.
And this is all brought about and made easier because the female is empowered. I looked down. I looked at the. I looked down. I drive a truck, and one of the times I came home, I looked down this clinic. It was a line of people waiting to get vaccinated. First in line were all the women. Single women in their cars, waiting to get vaccinated, waiting to take the shot. And this was at a point where a lot of uncertainty was still in the air as far as vaccines were concerned, but they were there out of fear, you see, because there's so much, women run a different program in their minds. They don't think linearly like we do and analytically, and their emotions cloud their judgment. And so all you got to do to manipulate them is put a little fear in them, and they do whatever you want. You see, they bend to the wishes of Uncle Sam or Uncle Joe or whoever. Huh?
You know why we have the mostly inflation is due to you're familiar with the book Bullshit Jobs?
Not really. I've never read it.
Women have bullshit jobs. They're made up jobs, and it's what I call bid splitting. It's I can explain this. I did a video on this, and the male, he puts a air conditioning unit on top of a big building like back there. He puts girders in there and everything. But nowadays you got 4 other jobs attached to that where you're splitting your bid, and a female engineer is getting some money, and this person and they're not doing nothing. The men are doing the work still, and society's splitting that bid and making it bigger. And that's your inflation, because you have all these bullshit jobs for these people that what I call lighter than air jobs.
Okay.
It's
bullshit jobs.
Let's put it like this, right? Let's put it like this. You're so right, because just to unload a truck in say Home Depot, I used to deliver to Home Depots, Lowe's, or whatever. Just to unload a truck, you need a man to unload the truck with a fork truck, and then you got 2 women watching.
Yeah.
Just to make sure nobody gets sued. You got one guy with the little flag going around.
The man's making less. There's 2 other jobs attached to that are bullshit jobs.
bullshit jobs with bullshit titles, as well. I mean, if you ask a woman, you will not get a straight answer on
why do we
what
have
her
to
job
employ
is.
women? Because feminism said they all got to work now, and yeah, they got to go to work now, but we have to make up these jobs to employ them. These lighter than air jobs, and paperwork, things that aren't necessary, to employ them. And you look at inflation. Why is an orange cost what an orange costs? It's bullshit jobs for women. And that's
you guys mentioned I just quickly I wanted to mention. You guys know the majority of government workers are women,
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the government's got the biggest bullshit. That's why I say
well,
it's racketeering, because they got like the largest amount of bullshit jobs where people do absolutely nothing inside of cubicles.
it fits them well. They love bureaucracy.
Yeah.
It's a system where no one can get blamed for anything. You know, it's perfect for women. And of course, you know, all the office politics and all that stuff. They love all that sort of stuff. All the drama in government. You know, and at the end of the day, government doesn't produce anything, so it fits them very well.
Not a single product.
Yeah.
That's why they love unions as well.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, another thing that they will do.
Hijack the idea of a union too. The idea
Call
of
it progressive.
a union was for these guys in the steel mills that are on 130-degree jobs, wanted more money for what they do, and then the government hijacked the idea of unions, and it made it into a bad thing.
Well,
there's guys out there that work in shops that are so horrible that they need a union.
Let's go even further than this, right? This country was created by men, for men, right? Well, for everybody, right? But it was the idea behind it was the idea that government was to serve the little people, you know.
Right.
And so what did the women do? They said, "Oh, you know, how you didn't include how can you talk about freedom if you don't include everybody, if you don't include women there, you know?" So that's how feminism got started. You know, that's how feminism got started, because they turned this idea, you know, what's called classic liberalism, right? This idea that, you know, government was instituted for the people, by the people, you know, to serve the people, right? And they said, how can you talk about being free if you have, you know, if you're oppressing women? And that's when this idea of women took over, you know, started to take over the what was once, or what was supposed to be a real democracy, a real democratic process, and they corrupted it. And from there, this United States started to head downhill.
Right. I say it's all racketeering now, because you know what racketeering is when you provide a non-existent service that relies on the racket to pay the racketeer. It's a non-existent service. That's what they're doing. That's most of government jobs now.
You know,
it's like the
and state taxes and county taxes and city taxes. That's all so we can keep these big buildings for 95% of the women jobs that are just racketeering.
Yeah. You know, another thing that they do, these corporations do, they'll get a incompetent woman and put her in a high position. And I'll give you an example of this. When I was doing retail logistics, we basically got into a situation where we had a black manager, and this guy was really good. He was really on point, knew what he was doing. The corporation brings in this white woman, and she doesn't know nothing from Adam, and she gets in control of it. And one of the things that she did, when you have a delivery with a truck, a tractor trailer, there's a bill of lading or a manifest that goes along with that. And you're supposed to check that in, because that affects everything A to Z. So, you know, she would check in trucks, you know, without doing that. She would do all this stuff. Store wound up in the end losing $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, she got
something from nothing.
asked to leave, firing, you know, type of thing. But, you know, she didn't get you fired. she got the, just go home, that type of thing.
You know,
But see, that's what
everybody
happened.
around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
One of my first jobs was logistics, and
Yeah.
I was an Army logistics engineer, and that's what I was in the Army. My first MOS was logistics, and I understand what you're saying about.
Yeah.
That's why I say they split the bid off. They start giving themselves money.
Yeah.
Ooh. Women nowadays, they want something from nothing. They really do. They
Yeah.
really do want something from nothing. And anyways,
Okay,
I
let
lost my
me
train of thought.
let me share a small story. So in 2018, I was working for a French company, and so we used to have these town halls every like 2 or 3 months. In every 2 or 3 months, we would have this town hall where some guy from a quote unquote upper management would come in and inform us about, like, the direction the company is heading in, and so on and so forth. So in one of these town halls, one of these guys comes in and he says that, okay, so we have decided that like 33% of all like the top management uh, would have to be women. So
Yeah.
so he says, yeah,
Wow.
so he says that, so we are starting with 33%, and I have informed, like, HR and like everybody involved in making the decision on who is going to get promoted and who is going to get hired, that we need 33% women. And if you fail to achieve this by the end of the year, so he was like, don't make me get involved, because if you don't achieve this target and if I get involved, then you guys have no choice, then it would be 50%.
Yeah.
Well,
How
so
do they do
so
that? How
so
do they
many
make
men are
jobs?
brainwashed. A lot of men are brainwashed
Yeah.
into supporting feminism against their very own interests.
Yeah.
They're because it could be very heart touching, right? If you're told that for most of history men have been oppressing women, and now they finally get the chance, and it's up to you to make sure that that the girls are protected and that they're taken care of
Yeah.
or whatever, even if you want nothing to do with them sexually. You're gonna be like, wow, I got a chance to make things right. And who doesn't buy first into the idea of, let's bring equality, right? Because in reality, men want equality too. Men want
Yeah.
equality,
Men
you know,
want equality, right?
but that's not what they're after. That's really not what they're after at all.
Oh yeah, male
I mean,
abortion, and we want. Do we get a choice in abortion? Do we get a choice in? No. Male equality is non-existent. And you ask how they do these jobs. How do you make 30% more jobs? You just make 30% more bullshit jobs that don't mean anything. That's what you do, and it's all window coding for a corrupt, a more corrupt society.
The other thing too, like for instance, I've been working on some business ideas. I'm starting some things as sole proprietor, but let's say I start to build a corporation.
Right.
The government can actually come in and force me to hire women against my will. It's not about hiring the best person. I have to hire a woman because of what the government says. That's despicable.
Well, that's communism. It's no longer quality of opportunity. It's quality of outcome.
You have these women coming into trucking nowadays, right? And nowadays, as compared to 20 years ago when I started, the trucks are mostly automatic. The suspensions, I mean, they ride like Cadillacs as compared to how they used to be. I remember, riding those Mack trucks. By the end of the work day, your kidneys were out the window. You see, and the heater didn't work properly, and the defrost didn't work the way it was supposed to work. And we're just talking 20 years ago. Guys before me, they had the spring seat instead of the air ride seat. Anyways, nowadays these women are coming into trucking, and they're thinking they're doing the same job as a man, when in reality things have really softened up a lot in the trucking industry. we have electronic logbooks where Uncle Sam, I kid you not, guys, down to the second, to the second they time you're driving. Make
Yeah.
sure you didn't go overboard.
Yeah.
And the other thing, so all these softness in the trucking industry, right? Where you can find, you can find parking at the Walmart or big supermarkets or whatever, and you got the big truck stops that are safe at night with adequate lighting and clean showers and all that stuff. None of that was true when I first started driving a truck. The dispatcher, and we used to call them dispatchers. Nowadays they call them fleet managers.
Yeah.
Because it's the idea that they serve you and that they work for you despite the fact that you don't own anything. But back then the dispatcher used to say, here's the paperwork, asshole, and that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Nowadays they look at the woman and they say, there's a professional driver. She's never fucking shifted a transmission in her life. Never push a clutch pedal in. The truck rides like a Cadillac. It's nice and soft. The engines are quiet because you can sleep at night. Even the refrigerated trucks, they're nice and quiet nowadays.
Yeah.
So there's no sacrifice now like it used to be. Don't get me wrong, it's still somewhat hard, but it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
They look at the woman, they say, where do you want to go today? What do you feel like doing? So the driver's getting pampered. Of course, the money's not the same. You know what I'm saying? The money's not the same. But even though they have the same opportunity to make the same amount of money as a man, they tend to underperform. Why? Because again, they can't take the beating. They can't take they can't take the same beating that a man can, and they're down for a few days of the month. Every month they're down for a few days of the month. And they're a lot more emotional. They tend to panic more. They tend to take less risks. Sometimes you have to take a risk, for this, that, and the other. So they don't push themselves so hard. So, anyways, that's what's driving the part of the mess in the trucking industry too.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, when those skids end up on the, you take 10 skids off those truck and they end up on the dock of any store around your neighborhood. Guess who's on load? Guess who's breaking those skids down?
Oh yeah, it's the man.
Guess who put those skids in there and wrapped those skids?
Yeah.
Yeah, males.
Well, it used to be men, especially like the bundles and everything. No, now you believe it or not, there's some robots doing that sort of stuff too. A lot of it is it's been automated. But like still like all the
for 30 years. I watched it for 30 years.
It's men. It was men.
There's men who stack those skids.
Yeah.
Take those skids off.
Yeah. They may have a token woman here and there just to make sure, but most of the time she's watching, just like at the construction sites.
Yeah, I didn't get these from not chucking a lot of oil.
I think at least the key takeaway point is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I guess the key takeaway point is that even if you're working for a corporation, I mean, big or small, doesn't matter. If you have someone in your organization who says that 33% of the staff has to be women, like makes no mention of actual merit or skills. I mean, even if you are forced to hire women by the government, at least that person shouldn't be in your company, because they don't. I mean, at least as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they have the best interest for your company in their heart.
It drives prices up because labor costs go up.
Now you have 2-3 jobs where there should be one.
Yeah. Just like you said, the bullshit jobs.
Bullshit jobs. Better than air people.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to duck out here, and I would like to thank Mgtow Cowboy for having me in.
Yeah, you're totally welcome. Actually, I'm so sorry, but I think it's probably time for me to end the stream as well. We're just about to hit the 2-hour mark right now. I'm sorry. I would go longer if I could, but I have some affairs I have to attend to.
Yeah, me too. I got dip as well and everything, but I thank you guys for having me.
Same here.
Oh yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
Very good.
We gotta
Yeah.
get together.
Hey, cowboy. Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Yeah. So before like we close this stream, can I make a quick movie recommendation? I mean, it's not Mgtow related, but if I have your permission, can I make a quick movie recommendation to everyone?
Sure, go ahead.
Please do so.
Okay. Okay. So the name of the movie is The Kashmir Files. So it's spelled Kashmir. So those of you who don't know, Kashmir is a place in India,
Okay.
and
Oh, I thought it belongs to Pakistan. Doesn't it belong to Pakistan?
Yeah, well, you watch this movie and then then we'll talk about it. Okay,
It's
so
a joke. Okay.
yeah, I know. So yeah, so just have a look, and it's a great movie. I mean, just like you have Hollywood over there, we have Bollywood, and it's the same thing. Like toxic culture, they tried to get the movie banned, but it's doing really good in India. It's doing really good in United States. I mean, it's making big waves. So I would request you to please watch this, even if you don't have to do anything with Kashmir. I mean, I think every smart person who watches that movie can draw a lot of parallels, like in US society as well. So, like, please watch this movie. The movie's name is The Kashmir Files, Kashmir. Find like the version which is dubbed in English. So please do watch that. Thank you.
Okay. Why don't we go around and do summations?
Sure. Okay, I'll start. Don't get married.
Don't get married.
My
next.
turn. My turn. My turn.
Go ahead.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oof, man. With inflation, yeah, man. Yeah. Let's go, Brandon.
Okay, I'd just like to say how you do it usual, Andy. I want to thank each guy for coming around and being a Mgtow. And the best thing you can do this week is go out and find another Mgtow and make another Mgtow. If we all just make other Mgtows, find these guys, talk to them, and do our jobs before it's a little stream. We're a little stream now. We turn into a big river, then we turn into a lake, then we turn into an ocean. And an ocean of Mgtows would be a damn fine thing. I would like to thank each one of you guys for coming around, and thanks a lot for being Mgtows.
Well,
It was really nice talking to you, Trav.
Thank you.
Well, gents, thank you for having me. And as I always say, Mgtow is the liberation of men's minds, and Mgtow cannot and will not be stopped. And with that, thanks again for having me, and I'll talk to you guys later.
And also, I would like to add that don't fall in love, because love is magic and magic is heresy.
Right. Very
okay,
good.
guys. Bye-bye. Hey, Cowboy, have a good one, man. Take care.
Yeah. OST Factory was a pleasure, bro. Any final thoughts, Sweet Padre?
Yes, sir. I like to add that the women nowadays are brainwashed by the government. They really are under mind control, and not all of them are bad, and not all of them are controlled by Uncle Sam to the same extent. But you do have to watch your interactions with them. So be careful, and especially at work. The wrong word can cost you your livelihood. So please be careful and be safe out there, guys.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again for calling in, Sweet Padre. Maybe in a month or two, I can get you to call in again.
Yes, sir. And thank you, Mgtow Cowboy, and the rest of the guys for participating. It's been wonderful. Good night.
All right, gentlemen, with that, I'm going to end the stream. I only meant to go like an hour and a half, but I went a little over 2 hours. And yeah, just to reiterate what Sweet Padre said, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I even made a video about it. There was a young man I was sort of mentoring. He's basically half my age. I taught him how to drive a stick shift. I taught him how to drive car. And we were at work one day, and he made some sort of off comment. He made a sexual comment towards this woman. Next thing you know, they pull him into HR. Next thing you know, he's oh, they sent him home for a week, and then after that week, he got a call and said, yeah, you're fired. I mean, he probably should not have said what he said. I think he basically insinuated, I don't know, he was trying to hit on some girl. He may have made some remark, but yeah, really, I mean, he didn't, put his hands on her. He didn't hit her, nothing like that. But just the wrong word, and you can basically get fired. So, good point. I'll leave it at that. Everyone, it was a pleasure. In another couple of weeks, maybe I'll do another one. If I'll just say hi and bye to everyone. You guys have a good rest of your night. All right, this is Mgtow Cowboy. If you guys like my content, please like, please comment, please subscribe, and please share. And I'll leave it there. You gentlemen, take care. All right, bye now.